The Nikon AF-S 24-120mm f4G EDVR is a top standard zoom lens made for Nikon's FX cameras, dressed as a mid-lineup product. Not too cheap, not that well put together, it's made to compete in the 24-105mm zoom market, mainly Canon's 24-105L, despite this Nikon delivering the better image quality, complete with a good stabilizer and good AF performance. At 84 by 103mm of 710 grams of mostly plastics, the first thing we notice on the Nikon 24-120 f4G is the size and weight, larger than most of its peers but also longer at 120mm. The build quality is okay with a dual-cam internal barrel, extending from 24 to 120mm, operated by a simple plastic zoom ring with cramped wide-angle distance up to 35mm. At the rear, the manual focusing ring also feels cheap, with plastic imprecise feedback that shows a lot of play between the external movement and the internal focusing, impossible to achieve precision. Inside, Nikon fits its excellent silent wave motor, precise, quiet and relatively fast, not having any issues with static objects for everyday photography. But its Canon's peers do display better performance for action with their ultrasonic ring-type motor, so I question this Nikon performance. Also inside, Nikon sports its VR vibration reduction, compensating for up to 4 stops of shutter speed. It features an active mode used to correct for movement being applied to the photographer's body, like standing up on a boat or safari car. And at the front, it features large 77mm filters that fits inside the supplied-in-the-box lens hood. Finally, at the rear, the metal mount supports a G-lever to operate the lens aperture and a rubber gasket to seal it against the elements. And overall, this is a nice lens, made to be paired with large full-frame cameras. It was my first zoom tested here on the Nikon D800E, and it didn't fail to impress me, despite not being a true top-of-the-line lens like Canon's L series. With a very complex 17 elements in 13 groups optical formula, being 2 low dispersion ED to reduce chromatic aberrations, 3 aspherical to enhance corner resolution, and Nikon's nanocrystal coating to enhance clarity, the Nikon 24-120mm f4G delivers simply the best optical performance at this segment, better than all Canon 24-105L lenses. It's simply a well put together formula. Even wide open, the center resolution is great for finely detailed subjects, like portraits, product photography, street photography and low light, from 24 to 120mm, with a slight loss of details around the edges. Stopping down does enhance clarity around the frame, also fixing the vignetting, for high precision shots from a single lens to cover all this distance with impressive image quality, the reason to recommend it. Lateral chromatic aberrations are expected and visible when pixel peep in the corners, but easy to fix in post, as are the geometric distortion that shows some bulging at 24mm. But axial chromatic aberrations are nowhere to be seen, as the aperture isn't that extreme. But as usual, it's the colors and the bokeh that impress us from Nikon, with saturated tones of yellow, greens, blues and pink, with impressive straight-off-the-camera shots. The bokeh is smooth thanks to the 9 rounded blade apertures, great for short f-of-view shots at f4 and 120mm. And the flaring resistance is excellent, thanks to the overall nanocrystal coating and the super integrated coating, reducing reflections to a minimum. So as usual, this is a very easy to recommend lens, as we expect from Nikon's f4G lineup. It offers an insane amount of flexibility and performance for the price, all for full-frame cameras, and can easily be the only lens on your kit. It stayed on my kit as long as the D800E, and is still spared to some kit combos for a great price. So if you have the opportunity, keep it always with you and nice shooting!